Okay, are we ready? So let's start.
Yeah.
Some reason I see. Okay, let's go. Welcome to class 3.
Dobro pожаловать на course 30.
My love, you are being translated into 10 different languages.
Welcome to our class.
Good.
I'm going to do Bulgarian next.
Maybe you
Am I hitting the table?
You are hitting the table and we are making an earthquake on our camera.
Los Angeles.
Okay, so this is the meditation course, and it is called Applied Meditation because this is how you can change your life for the better if you will learn to meditate and do it regularly. And regularly means at the very least 6 days a week.
Yeah, if you meditate regularly, if you get good at meditating, we talked about the benefits in the class before this one, but you'll be able to, it'll go a long way to solving your problems. You'll be able to see what's happening more clearly, make the right decision for how to handle it. But really interestingly, for this course, right? If you use meditation and you're getting some control over your problems, it's not a permanent solution, right? But you can use meditation to have a permanent end to your problems, and that's the real reason for talking about all of this, is that you can reach a state where you see the reality that's underlying the one that we're experiencing. And when you see that in a deep state of meditation, then you can have a permanent ending to your problems. It's really an extraordinary story.
Yeah. So what we have done so far, we have reviewed what like the goal is to meditate, right? And to meditate with high quality. So we have already discussed 6 conditions, like how you set up your mind to meditate, right? How you set your mind to meditate.
Prepare your mind.
Prepare. And 7 ingredients, like how you collect all the good vibes to meditate and get rid of all the obstacles. Now we will talk about conditions of the environment because it is actually very important. And we will let's just discuss it. Let's just start.
Yeah, I think it'll be obvious, right, that if you're trying to meditate sitting on a curb by a highway, right, with cars and trucks going by, it's not really going to work very well for you. So then, but what is going to work, right? What do you need? And you don't have to go into long retreats like I did in order to meditate. Long retreats are wonderful for meditation. They're perfect for meditation. But I've known many people who've been able to reach shamatha in the outside world and have had jobs. And so now they weren't living in a crazy life, right? But so we'll talk about what does it take in the outside world, in the non-retreat environment, in order to be able to meditate.
We forgot to set up our motivation in the beginning of the class.
Okay.
So let's do it with 7 ingredients. Why not, right?
Okay.
Sit comfortably make sure your back is straight. We're not going through the posture yet, but just try to sit up as straight as you can. And let's start with 10 exhales, inhales. One reason is we want to prove that life will win and the death will lose. And second, we want to get rid, when we do long exhales, get rid of prana that is collected in our lungs in like excessive prana. Now think about the person who you see as your teacher, or maybe you see as your teacher some historical figure. Maybe a founder of your religious system. Maybe somebody who taught you a lot this lifetime, helped you dramatically. Somebody who possesses love, wisdom, and compassion. Imagine they're in front of you, meditating together with you. You can feel the warmth of their body. First, think about your motivation for these classes, why you want to meditate. What it will change in your life if you will. And then think about a good quality that you see in this historical figure or your teacher, or you can even imagine a person who would be able to help you, who's wise and loving and compassionate. Think of their good quality that can help you to reach your goal if you will get this one. A quality that will be helpful for your meditation. Feel the joy that you know somebody who possesses such a great quality. You even can imagine somebody who's known to be a great meditator. Now think about past 24 hours and find the moment when you said, did, or you were thinking something that was not helpful to other people, maybe selfish. Definitely you are not proud of. And imagine that you are telling your teacher about this case and see that he or her, they're smiling. And they know already that you did it. They're happy that you admit it was not the right thing to do. Now think about something good that you have done within last 24 hours. Maybe you helped somebody, or maybe you didn't hurt somebody. You stopped yourself. And make it as in make an offering out of it to your teacher. Now ask your teacher to continue teaching you. Maybe you feel energy and you want hard lessons in your life. If you're ready, you can ask for that. Maybe you had too many challenges and you want wise and compassionate people around you and less challenges. Ask your teacher to stay. Ask them to bless you, to improve your capacities. Go back to your breathing. Open your eyes. When I have done second offering, I realized I didn't do the first one. Yeah. So after you meet your teacher, of course, you need to offer something. Can happen, right? And the dedication you do after you do your meditation. So basically, we did some ingredients and blessing from the 6 preliminaries.
And you'll want to memorize those 7 ingredients so that you can sit down and do them at the beginning of your meditation also.
Yeah, and then maybe when you will be a little bit in a hurry, jumping from one Zoom to another one, we will not forget it as I did. Okay, let's go to the first slide. So what are the 6 conditions that must be gathered together for the meditation? So we had 6 preliminaries. It is when you set up your mind to meditate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's 6 conditions, and they are physical conditions. So they're not the same.
Yeah, it makes a big difference where you are physically. And you can look and see, you can look at somebody's house, like well, I'll use this as an example. John Brady's a great meditator and has been for a long time. And you walk into his house in Sedona, and it's clean, beautiful. There is artwork up on the walls, but not a lot. There's no clutter, and it's very peaceful. And both John Brady and Connie are slow talkers. Both John Brady and Connie are very good meditators, and you can see it in their house. Clean, free of clutter, calm, peaceful, quiet, where they are in Sedona. And so those things are pretty universal. My retreat cabin was, boy, it was just ideal. Now, and I can't live like that here now, but I had just an absolute minimum of stuff in it. There really wasn't even any furniture. I had a bed that I rolled out and took out, but there wasn't much more in the room, the main room, but a cabinet and an oriental rug and my altar. And it was very peaceful, very quiet, very beautiful, and really helpful for meditating like that. Because your external world is a reflection of your internal world, of your mind. So, but people can do it in the outside world. John was able to achieve a really high level of meditation living in New York City, in Manhattan. But we can talk more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go through? We have a list of 5 specific things.
I can see Leona is asking me to set up. Oh, it's not me. Okay. Because I see on the slides, do people see us at all?
It's okay. Let them worry about
it. Okay. So the first one is to stay in a conducive place for the meditation. Don't have a retreat. If you don't have your own retreat cabin,
yeah,
then we have to do something at our home.
Yeah, if you have a room, I know some people have enough space that they have a room devoted to meditation. That's wonderful if you do. if you don't have that much space, you can set up like an altar or a meditation cushion and leave it there and have that place. But you want to go through you have the 5 parts?
Yeah, just you don't have to have a dedicated room. You can have just a corner somewhere, but it should be, it would be better if there's no traffic in this corner, you know, like people don't walk or don't step over you when you meditate.
Yeah.
And you use it only for meditation. Better if it's not right next to your bed, because you will have the sleepy vibes. I know, ask me why I know what I'm talking about, because this is how I did. And honestly, in several years, I caught myself on the fact that if I would set up the altar somewhere else, I would not fall asleep half of the times. So this first part, a conducive place, has 5 parts in it, actually. It's not on the homeworks, but it's actually cool to know, because first, it's you should have everything you need physically. I mean, food, clothes, you know, like heat. If you decide to do 1-day retreat, which is a very cool thing to do, like your mind will become much more creative if you decide to dedicate 1 day a week to do a short retreat, you know, just 1 day retreat. And so what you actually do, you have to make sure that you have everything you will need. And for the 3-year retreatants, there was a whole process set up to deliver to them every 2 weeks what they need.
Yeah, that part was nice. We didn't have to go anywhere, do anything, like you limited your activities. We had everything we needed. It was simple. It was actually really quite nice. Once you got used to living simply, it was really peaceful. It was really quite pleasant. We get bombarded with so many messages. The advertisers and the marketers and the salespeople, they're brilliant at getting your attention. And when you unplugged from that, it was really actually quite nice to not have your mind be constantly stimulated by somebody who wants you to buy something, to do something. So.
Second, it should be a safe place. It means, you know, I remember first, I heard first about retreatants. I was like, wow, this is so romantic. You go into a cave, you know, like there are tours in India. You can go to caves where like big Buddhist masters meditated. And some of them are pretty nice, they say. Definitely very powerful places. But if you will try to meditate in one of the caves, I was never that romantic to go to meditate in the caves. But I know Geshe Michael was, and he said that first in all caves there is already somebody living in.
Yeah.
Like a wolf or a snake.
Bugs. Yeah, it's you don't, it's not really gonna work. Your place should be comfortable. It should be clean, you know, proper temperature. I mean, frankly,
A door.
Yeah, a door that shuts.
To keep everybody else out.
That was frankly one of the problems I had in retreat, is that the cabin was so hot in the summer. It was hotter inside my cabin than out of it, and actually ended up being a bit of a problem. I could have, if we ever do another 3-year retreat, I would fix that. I would do what it would take to, you know, have a
air conditioner.
I don't know about an air conditioner with the noise, but something so that the temperature was more moderate, because it was, you know, it would be like what, over over 40 degrees inside, and you're just sitting there and you just be sweating, and you can't. I couldn't, and I don't think very many people will be able to happily meditate in an environment like that. You know, I could do the meditation in the morning when it was cool, but boy, and then in the evening, when the sun went down, I could meditate again. But oh man, during the blazing part of the day, forget about it.
Mm-hmm. So should be a safe place. I thought it should not be an environment where you can get sick. Like, for example,
India.
India, yeah, right. Where you can catch a disease, you know, mosquitoes can bring you a disease. Like, people are all inspired to go meditate on the islands, but some of these islands can be pretty unsafe, and they can be like different, you can catch different kinds of diseases, so you should be also wise.
I say India jokingly because we're going to go in November for a
1 month studies.
Yeah, for a 1 month study to study Tibetan language at the monastery, and I frankly never wanted to go to India because I didn't want to get sick.
So I was how to say, I love Tibetan, and actually I met Bill at the Tibetan class in Arizona, and I was like, wow, he's a great practitioner. We probably can go to India. And one of the first things he told me, I never want to go to India. Oh. I was so disappointed.
Well, and then you know, as soon as I say, I never want to go, then it was usually do. Well, and then you know, a few years later, Geshe was asking me to go. So anyway, we've gotten all the vaccines and medicines and
almost.
Well, we're in the process of getting them, but we're going to be, you know, properly prepared to go so that we don't have to deal with
maybe we need something, you know, like more
like a bubble.
Like a bubble.
Yeah.
That will be more safe.
Yeah.
With air conditioner.
Yeah, air conditioner bubble.
Okay, so should be you should have everything you need to stay comfortably physically. It should be safe. You should not get sick. Not too cold, not too warm, no distractions, which is called a good environment. It's funny, like when you translate, sometimes words do not mean what they say. Like good environment actually means you don't get sick, it's not too cold, it's not too hot, and not too noisy.
Yeah, like the beach, you know, most of us love going to the beach.
I just wanted to tell about the beach meditation.
Yeah, I mean, I love going to the beach. It's not good for meditating, right? You're going to sit there, it's going to be in the sun, there's going to be noise, the bugs are going to come, people,
balls.
Yeah.
Last time he tried to meditate, he was almost hit by a ball.
Oh, we were filming some video for you know, for our classes, and one of the examples we had was don't meditate at the beach, and we're sitting there meditating, and then a ball like gets tossed right in the middle of where we are. It's just, it looks romantic, right? Hey, I'm sitting in this field of flowers, and isn't this wonderful? And all's calm and peaceful, except for the sun and the bugs and you know, it doesn't work. I
never tried a cave, but I tried many times like meadows and beaches and stuff like that, and boy, you get right away why it's not a great idea.
Yeah, simple, but like not rustic, right? It should be comfortable.
Okay, and the next one, condition part 5 of the first part 4 out of the first condition is good friends.
Yeah, so we're still describing the first one.
Conducive place.
Yeah.
Yeah. good friends, again, it doesn't mean what it sounds like. It's not just he's a good friend, like, I don't know.
Will they watch football with you on Sunday?
It
Will they
means
go play golf with you?
it actually means three things. First, they meditate. Second, they are ethical. And third, they are supportive. That's it. They support you, they meditate, they know that you are up to something great, and they are ethical because you will be very sensitive in your retreat. I mean, good friends you need for the retreat, right? Mainly.
Yeah, your mind is like a mirror. It picks up what's around it, and it will reflect the environment that you're around. And if you meditate, and we're mostly talking about meditating individually here, but when you meditate in a group, it can actually be really powerful if everybody is a decent meditator, right? But it only takes in a room like one person, if they're really agitated, can throw the whole room off. You can feel it, right? There's an energy to the people around you, and it can help you or it can hurt you depending upon how it's going.
One comment, if you are not a 3-year retreatant or long-term retreatant, you still need good friends because honestly, you need karmic partners to meditate. Like everything else, seeds of meditation are wearing out. And if you do not help another person to meditate, then at some point of time, you will feel busy, you will feel lazy. Okay, you will not say I'm lazy, you will say I'm busy, but it's same, okay? So I'm busy, I don't have time to meditate, and you will stop doing it unless you plant seeds constantly. So you need a partner.
And everybody I've known personally that was obviously a good meditator had these conditions in their situation. They lived a clean, quiet, simple, peaceful life. It was, and it's a really lovely way to live. It's really nice if you can do it, if you can put the conditions together for it. It's it's not what we're being sold in the West. But it's really actually, if you can live like that, it's really nice. It's really quite pleasant.
And the last part of this conducive place is having goodness. Guess what that means? It means that you can find yourself in a place that has not lots of people around, no noise. You can allow yourself not go outside, and you can stay alone, not seeing living creatures, let's say, no books, no radios, and your mind cannot get distracted. So this solitude will drive you into your mind. So I was just thinking that it's funny that they call it having goodness, because it's a way to say that if you have enough good seeds, you will find yourself one day in such a place. Okay.
Yeah, it was, I will say this, it was actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and say this. When I got out of retreat, I ended up having to take a job. I live in Chicago, and I took a flying job in Detroit. And so then I was having to commute. I couldn't afford 2 separate places at the time. So I was restarting my career, and I had rented a room in a basement in a house that was nearby, but it was loud. And I was doing a lot of traveling, and and I could feel my concentration slipping away. The job was fatiguing. I had to work in the middle of the night quite frequently, and it was really, I mean, I couldn't fight that, right? I mean, I knew how to meditate, but the environment was such that I couldn't stop it, couldn't hold on to my level of concentration, and it started slipping away because of the environment, which was yeah. So anyway, you're one of the things. It's exactly like exercising, right? You can train, get up to a level, and then if you don't train, your condition will sink back, right? Athletes get better and they get worse depending upon how much they're training. And meditation's exactly the same. Once you learn how to meditate, it's easier to get back to the high levels. But it takes constant practice to keep it going.
Okay.
Second one.
Second one.
Next slide.
Yeah, by the way, it was Tunpe Yul.
Did I jump ahead?
You didn't pronounce. I was thinking you will do the Tibetan.
No.
The first one was conducive place, Tunpe Yul. The second one is Dupa Chunwa, and this is live life simply. We talked about it a little bit. You don't need many things.
Yeah, and that's a great example of what simple doesn't look like. Yeah, this is something that you kind of have to fight against in our culture. I remember when I came out of retreat, I was excited to go to the grocery store. I like to cook, I like to eat. And I was excited to go to the grocery store and buy what I wanted to buy.
Because it was a big difference with what you had.
Well, years. It really is. They were bringing us whatever we asked for in retreat, which was, Rob Rusinger and the other volunteers were, I mean, really heroic with what they did. And I mean, over the 3 years, they rarely missed anything that we asked for.
But you have to wait for almost 1 month to get what you want.
Well, yeah, if you forgot, it could take 2 weeks to send out a note and then 2 weeks to get it back. So you'd have to, sometimes it could take a month to get something, which, when you're used to walking out to the grocery store, we live within walking distance here of a Whole Foods. And so, we can get whatever we want at any moment. But you get used to it, right? It's fine. You panic a little at first. And, we all had...
can buy lots of buckwheat.
Yeah, we all had...
Grechka.
Yeah, the Ukrainians like Grechka. So we all had our cabins stocked up with the whatever our
equivalent,
whatever our personal equivalent was of Grechka. It's like, that's Ukrainians are, there's trouble coming. I better go get some Grechka. We'll be okay as long as we have 10 kilograms of Grechka.
It's funny that every nation has something like that, right? Japanese, they are of they have this like order, like you will be okay as soon as your shoes are in order.
Yeah. That was funny. It was, and probably rice for them, for Americans, I don't know, mac and cheese or something, Yeah, hamburgers, right? Veggie burgers for the I had, beans and rice for me. I made sure I had a lot of dried beans and rice just in case.
Oh yeah, you are still doing it.
Yeah.
He goes and buys like 10 cans.
Yeah. So anyway, what happened is I came out of retreat and I thought, well, this will be fun. I'll go to the grocery store and I'm really looking forward to getting exactly what I want. And then first time I walked into a grocery store, it was a Whole Foods. And I was just overwhelmed, right? I didn't know it at the time, but your average grocery store has over 100,000 different items in it. Like 100,000. And it's overwhelming if you're not used to it. We don't even realize that we've gotten adapted to that, and we know exactly what we want, where, and it's taking up your brain space, right? Like you know what's in your grocery store, and that's, you've only got so much mental capacity, and that's taking it up. And for me, I wanted a piece of cheese. I wanted some kind of fancy cheese. And so I walked, and it was like, I was just like overwhelmed. And then, well, almost, but like I made a straight line, like quickly to the cheese aisle. And then I get there, and I mean, this was in a big city. And the cheese counter, it must have been like 10 meters long or something crazy, right? You know, maybe that's a bit much. But like
endless.
Endless. I mean, at the time, I mean, there were literally probably more than 1,000 choices of cheese in there or something, or hundreds anyway. And I looked at it and was like, how in the world? Or, you know, there's like 30 types of blue cheese alone, you know, like, can anybody taste the difference? Does anybody care, right? And it's like, I looked at it, and I just grabbed the first piece of cheese I could get on my hand and got out of there. It was too much. And so the thing is that your head is filled with cheese, right? I mean, like you've got 10 feet of cheese in your head, and you can't think of anything else. And when you and we all have it now walking around, and it's so much more pleasant when you get the cheese out. Because then you can think.
You're joking.
No, it's a joke, but it's life. It's really happening, right?
It's not a joke.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
This is why he went to his 3-year retreat, because he wanted to get the cheese out of his head.
Get the cheese out of your head, right? You've got something better to do with it.
Okay. And don't worry if you cannot. Okay. Let me do one thing. You will understand how it can relate to your personal life. Okay. Close your eyes. Don't go to a meditation posture. Just close your eyes and think how many pairs of shoes you have. For girls, maybe how many tops, shirts. Well, for you, it's shirts.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how many pairs of shoes I have. I think around 100. Maybe 50, I don't know, maybe 50. So open your eyes, and every single pair of your shoes occupies your mental space.
Yeah, it's true.
Unfortunately, it is not as easy to stop this tendency as it seems to. I mean, I know it for many years, and I mean, for me it's tricky because I'm doing the social media, right? I need to look nice, and I have this tendency to buy because I know that people will be more attentive to this priceless knowledge if I look nice, right? But definitely there is always a room for improvement, and try to find what is really what you have in your life, in your closet, that is useless. I mean, try to get rid of useless stuff. And useless means stuff, means things in your house. It means clothes, shoes, but it also means connections. Sometimes we connect to people that are not really conducive to, we're not happy. We do not do anything good with these people, but we just spend a lot of time, priceless time. So maybe it will also be the case for you.
If you need things to help people, right? You know, you need a car, you need a place to live, you know, you need to look professional when you go someplace. I mean, that's all fine. But you know, the excess, the consumerism, you know, as a lifestyle that, boy, in America, it's particularly people worship buying things.
Yeah, for Americans, I'm not a consumer at all.
Yeah, but they're not making you happy, right? You know, that all of that stuff is actually holding you back from a higher happiness. It's keeping you from accomplishing what you were really meant to do here in this, which is to have the direct perception of emptiness and to permanently rid yourself of the sufferings. I mean, not this little temporary, I bought something that was fun type of happiness that comes and goes. And then actually the happiness comes and goes, but then your credit card debt stays for
So comes and goes.
Slower.
But slower than the happiness.
Yeah. So anyway, so live simply. You'll be happy. It was in retreat. It's actually really a beautiful thing. So, it was very peaceful. It was very pleasant.
Oh, we have a question. Is it enough for meditation to get only our meditation space clean and get rid of our own useless stuff if you live with other family members? Or we have to help our family to get rid of their useless things and clean the whole house? Oi.
Yeah.
No.
If don't disturb their peace of mind with demands, right? That won't work. If it's going to be if it's going to be a conflict with your family members,
will not meditate.
Yeah, just do what you can, and there's a karmic cause for clutter, right? And what would the karmic cause be for having other people clutter up your world? Ina's really good with
I think it depends on how you perceive it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that one. That's a great question. What to do with other people. So you should be able to work at the root cause of it, right? Like lecturing people, and that isn't going to solve it. You know, it may work, it may not. Most likely you're just going to irritate them. And the fact that it may or may not work is proof that it isn't the cause, right? If it was truly the cause, it would work all the time. And so we'll think about that one and see if we can come up with a better cause.
An answer for that, because actually, if you see other people cluttering your space, you have an emotion related to it, and this emotion will be an indicator what needs to clean. Like if you feel that it is nasty, like disgusting, then it's sexual misconduct seeds. It means maybe you were flirting to an inappropriate person, or you did this sexual misconduct thing. If you feel that your boundaries are ruined, are destroyed, right? Like your people are coming and they are putting on you, you know, like in your place something, then maybe you are not careful with boundaries of other people, and you should work on this stuff. So it really depends how you feel it. if you just feel it like this mental noise, right? You see, like right now, we have lots of stuff on our table because we were a bit in a hurry to make it to this class. I also had to advertise our Sanskrit course at Schwensen Tower, class that just, so we were like, like trying to get ready to talk to you guys. And I see it, and it's like mental noise, like I really want to close my eyes and see something less noisy. Then maybe I'm doing something to other people that is for them mental noise. Just I think my noise is fine and their noise is not fine. This is usually what happens.
Yeah. We'll keep thinking about that, look more into it, but work at the root cause. Whatever problem you have, the original cause for that problem would be something similar. And you can analyze that yourself. But anyway, keep on going. It's a great question.
Next, Chok Shepa. This is actually connected to the previous one. Geshe Michael, he was saying, Du chun chokshe, like both this second and third combined. And it's an attitude of being satisfied with whatever you get. It's like not enough to have little stuff, right? Because if your mind will be wondering, oh, I need more, oh, I need that, or something is still missing, then it will not help you. And this is something I was thinking for years about this specific point, because it's actually quite difficult in day-to-day life to feel this satisfaction that you have everything you get, because it's not really challenging. I remember when I really felt this one, like be satisfied with small thing you have, right? I was living in France and flew for the first time to Arizona to meet Geshe Michael. And when you meet your real teacher, many things happen, and sometimes like wild seeds, they start ripening, and it's a correct thing to happen, but it doesn't feel nice. I mean, you may not really enjoy it in the beginning. So I lost my job after I did this trip. I had almost no money. I remember debating myself whether I should walk to parents' meeting for my son at his dancing studio. Walk both ways, or okay, I actually have 2 more euros, I can go back on subway, We have eaten all the grechka in our house.
That's hard times.
Hard times. So, but everything went out well. But I remember this particular moment when I had no money. I'm in a foreign country. I don't have a job. My son is a high-ranked dancer, and he's spending like couple thousand euros a month, for his dancing career. Sometimes, usually like up to 1,000, but sometimes more. He travels a lot, he was competing. He was a competitor dancer. And I remember I was in this, oh my God, what should I do? And then out of a sudden, I have this word, and in Sanskrit, it's santosha, right? And I was like, santosha. What's santosha? Oh, I remember I was thinking about it. Santosha. It means when I don't have anything, I still can feel satisfaction with small things I have. And I tried it. Actually, it's summer, Lyon, the nicest city of France, like I still have food, I'm not hungry. I don't have my job anymore. I don't even have to go there 4 a.m. In the morning once a week. I had to wake up to go to Paris. I'm in much better physical condition. You know, I finally sleep well. I have very little things, but honestly, my body feels good and everything looks good. You know, like I actually don't have stuff, but I feel happy. This is how Santosha feels.
Yeah, and it's one of the conditions of being human to be dissatisfied, right? That no matter what you get, you're going to want something more. You're going to end up being dissatisfied with it. It's one of the problems of being human, and it's universal. And there is no point at which that will stop unless you fight it mentally. Like there was just when was it? But anyway, I was watching on Netflix. I watched an episode on Netflix. I don't watch much TV, but I did watch this, and there was
What did that happen?
yeah, in the evening there was they were it had a show about F1, you know, the Formula One race car drivers, and they were there at the Monaco Grand Prix, and they showed you know, a scene, and there's all these boats like there, all the millionaires and billionaires, and so the millionaires had like maybe a 20-meter boat, right? Big boat, you know, probably cost, you know, whatever, cost $1 million or whatever. But then they would be parked next to the billionaire's boat, and that was like
Check
50 meters, right? And so that was like 100 million. And so, you know, the guy sitting there in the $1 million boat was thinking that,
feeling that he is poorest of the poor.
Just feeling really sorry for himself that he had $1 million boat, and life would be just really great if he had the $500 million boat, right? I mean, that's, you know, he's sitting there like planning, like, how am I going to get the $500 million boat? You know, that's humans, right? And so recognize that it's happening and just stop. You're just wasting your life trying to get something, wasting your life being dissatisfied. You'll be happier if you know, fight that instinct.
Yeah, how you use this one when you meditate at home, you know, daily. Just when you meditate, let go everything and just stop being worried about stuff. Okay, let's go to the next one. Joman Pan. Give up being busy.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, and thank you very much for our volunteers who created these beautiful slides.
Thank you.
But this one was particularly painful for me because it was very much like that when I was working for pharmaceutical companies, and they do not pay you for just sitting, you know, and doing nothing. Boy, you will be busy if you work for them. And I remember the stickers. First, on my, I had 2 desktops on my desk because I needed to compare documents. And so first, the counter of my desktops was filled with stickers. Then the counter of my second desktops. Then my laptop, and then when I was already opening my laptop, and it was like a book, you know, already with all the stickers, I realized that something goes wrong. Of course, I was not reading anymore the stickers, but they were occupying my mind, and I still have some habit to keep papers. Like Bill, he's well organized with his papers. He's using and then he's throwing away, and I still have some room for improvement for this one. So every single thing that you do is also a mental noise. So maybe you want to do only important things in your life, right? And on the positive side, 2014, Geshe Michael came to Kiev, and I heard him explaining the nature of reality for the first time. 2015, I moved to France. And when I moved to France, it was actually a big deal for me because I lost my ultra communicator connections like in Kiev. Oh my God. I was working a job when I had to meet like over 100 new people every week. So I was traveling in Ukraine, like all the regions. Sometimes I had so much traveling to do that I didn't even fly back to Kiev. I would fly to Lvov, would take a taxi to Ivano-Frankivsk, then I would take taxi to Chernivtsi, then I would take taxi, no, I would fly back to Kiev. So, and then I moved to France, and out of a sudden, it was like a vacuum for me, you know. And first time I realized my meditations are good. It was there, even with all the stress of moving into another country. My meditation ability went up because I didn't have that many people to talk, you know, things to do. Like in Kiev, I would go after my work, I would go home through 2-3 friends, you know. So
in America, particular, France was nice. It wasn't like this in France. French people, they weren't as concerned with being busy as what Americans are. Americans, like if you're busy, you're important, right? You don't want to admit that you have an empty space on your calendar. People like, oh, I'm booked for the next 6 months because I'm important, right? And that's it's just a problem. You don't have to be busy like that. If you've got young children, right? Okay, then you're busy. That's legitimate. And then at that point, you know, your job is to serve your children. That's your spiritual practice. But you know, unless you've got a situation like that, you probably don't have to be as busy. And one of the worst ways we keep ourselves busy is the telephone, right? Oh my, I have things to accomplish on my phone. I have pictures to look at and articles to read and games to play, and so Ina and I have adopted this program. This is Geshe Michael's idea. It's really nice. So what we do is
this is the case where we put our computers and telephones. It has different pockets in it, and this bag comes from the Good Night Book Club in Schwanz Tower program, right? So if you do not you are not subscribed yet to the program, I highly recommend you. I think if you are subscribed for $30 a month, you will get this case. I think you also can buy it from them if you do not want to subscribe, or you subscribe for something less than $30. It has a nice locker. So telephones are horrible. I mean, try to do this practice with us one day, and you will see that you actually are a slave of your telephone.
Yeah. What we're doing is at 10 o'clock sharp. We will, well, okay, well, last night I got home from work real late the other night, like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I got on my computer. But
didn't let me to grab his computer, but usually he's pretty good.
And so on a normal day at 10 o'clock sharp, we'll take our phones, we'll take our computers, and we
Put it here.
put it in the bag, and this lock has a timer, and you set the timer, and then it won't open up for 8 hours. And what we noticed is that as soon as we put particularly our phones in there, it was like a burden had been lifted from us. Like we weren't busy anymore. We didn't have to serve our phones. And then it takes about an hour, you calm down, and we've been sleeping dramatically better.
Yeah, then what happens next? You go to bed, you get your book.
Yeah.
For example, this one is the recent one that we received, all kinds of karma. And I also have my Ukrainian version somewhere. We read, we go to sleep, and in the morning, this is another part. This is a Ukrainian one.
Yeah, Ina had these done in Ukraine. I'm very proud of her. Very high quality.
Very high quality. I was a little bit nervous that it will be like yellowish or no. Perfect pages, very pleasant to touch. So, and the second part is you're supposed to, before you touch your phone in the morning, you're supposed to go and meditate on what you read. So this is the practice. I think it's really cool, and it is highly recommended.
And if you wake up in the middle of the night, instead of getting on your phone and getting sucked into whatever is tailor-made to capture your mind on your telephone, if you get up and you start reading the book, I mean, frankly, it'll put you right back to sleep.
Yeah, unfortunately, this book, so you cannot read for more than 10 minutes.
I've actually gotten through a couple of really good books and learned quite a lot. But now we've been doing this for a couple of months. I'm sleeping through the whole night. I used to always wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And now I'm just sleeping through. But it's a great program. That's being busy. You know, your telephone keeps you busy, and it's not helping you.
Yeah. Also, I remember Geshe Michael. He was saying that will take you a while to figure it out. It was interesting. He said maybe you will want to get paid less, but have time and possibility to meditate. And then he added, maybe if you will meditate, you will make much more money.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things too. People say, I don't have time to meditate. I'm too busy. And it's exactly like saying, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, right? Flexible people, they don't need to do yoga, right? You get flexible because you do yoga. And if you meditate, your time at work or whatever else it is you're doing will be dramatically more productive. You're spending, normal people, they're wasting half their time, right? They'll be sitting there at the desk for 8 hours, but they're not working for 8 hours, right? My son, he's working in a hospital and doing research, and I keep getting things from Instagram from him. And he admits that he's like, oh yeah, I spend half my day like scrolling through social media, right? And so they're not asking him to do a whole lot there, but that's pretty common, right? Like you're at work, but you're not really productive. And if you learn to meditate, you'll be able to focus on whatever your job is and be dramatically more effective at what it is. If you don't have time, meditating will give you the ability to operate at 100% efficiency, or actually like 200%, because even the time when you're actually working, you're going to be dramatically more productive. And so you'll get more out of your day, infinitely more. or almost infinitely more, than what you could if your mind is all scattered. So give up being busy.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
15 minutes.
Okay.
I think we're doing fine. So what I wanted to say, the fifth one, right? The fifth one is keep your morality pure, keep your ethical way of life. And by the way, I want to add something about the telephone for Ukraine. If you are in Ukraine, you do not want to put your telephone and lock it, but you can put it somewhere where you will not be scrolling in Instagram, and maybe it will be like 2 meters from your bed or something, because if I understand correctly, there are alerts, so it will go through your telephone, right? But the idea is not to separate you from the information. The idea is to separate you from low level activity, that is harming actually your mind, that is harmful. So you can find a way, right? If you need to have alerts from your telephone, then just put it in a way that, I don't know, make an agreement with yourself. If I put it on this table, I don't touch it anymore, unless there is an alert. So, okay, ethical way of life.
Yeah, this is critical, right? If you have lots of drama in your life because of ethical problems, you're not going to be able to meditate, right? Like if you pay a porn star for sex and you're a married man, and then you have to hide that story from the public, and then you commit business fraud to hide the payments to the porn star, and then you did that to interfere with an election.
You cannot meditate.
And you're getting charged with 34 counts of felonies and found guilty, like somebody in our country here recently did. You're not going to be able to meditate effectively because you're sitting in court all day long, listening to the crimes that you've committed, right? You have an ethical problem, and it's going to affect your ability to meditate. And that's obviously, I'm talking about one of our politicians here in the United States, but it's going to work in other ways too, right? If something simple, right? Like if there's a lot of yelling in your life, it's gonna, if there's emotional disturbances, it's going to carry over into your meditation. And if you're going through a divorce because you didn't take care of your relationship properly, or you have problems in your business world because of stealing, right? Or these are things that you're not going to be able to just turn it off when you sit down. You need to be you need to be happy, right? Basically functional.
Yeah. So here there is a very important point that the true reason of true cause of meditation, right, is to maintain your 10 ethical principles.
Yeah, at a very high level, right? To get rid of the mental afflictions, ultimately.
I was taught meditation first as a GCI teacher in 2017, I think. And it was funny because we were asked by Geshe Michael to build our program in a way we give all this list that you have just heard, like 6 preliminary conditions, then 7 ingredients, then you have the 6 conditions of your 6 physical conditions of environment, and then you will get 8-point posture for meditation, and then more stuff like 4 problems, 8 solutions to meditation. And then you said, you know what, but guess what? Unless you plant seeds, it will not work. I mean, they're all useful, but why they're useful? Because you have seeds for meditation. This is why you hear all these lists. But actually, the main thing is your ethical behavior. The main thing is, like, let's make it really simple. When you meet another person, and whatever, another person can be initially calm or stressed out, or I don't know what else, or happy. What is your influence? How do you influence this person? Does they stay more peaceful after interacting with you, or more stressed out? That's it. This is a seed for your meditation for all these conducive places.
And I think probably have heard the 10 non-virtues before, but the big one, the top 10 that people have problems with are killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive talk, harsh words, idle talk, anger, jealousy, and ignorance. And ignorance is wrong worldview, right? Like misunderstanding. The big ignorance is misunderstanding where things come from, not understanding that you created the problems that you have, and you're the one who's going to have to solve them. So those things. And then on the other hand, if you're keeping your ethical way of life, like the problems that you have will decrease. Your life will get calmer, more peaceful, happier, and you'll be able to meditate.
And also interesting, I remember Geshe Michael was discussing this ethical behavior and the influence on meditation, and he said that, yeah, these lists, they are important. But in his monastery, there was one guy who was the best meditator, and he was meditating laying down, which is extremely considered to be like you destroyed the whole idea.
I had not heard that story. I am not going to recommend. The problem with meditating lying down is it rapidly shifts to sleeping lying down.
It's not recommended, but
it affects the way the energy is flowing in your body is affected by whether you're vertical or horizontal, and so
so when you are horizontal, then the seeds stop working.
Well, the seeds for sleep start working, and the seeds for meditation stop working. Yeah.
Can you be a laying down meditator if you have great morality?
For about a minute. Is it possible? I don't know. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it is possible, but lists are also important. I mean, this is, by the way, a very important discussion, because what will be helpful for your meditation, your own meditation, is experimenting. You should experiment with this list. If there was a guy who was able to be the best meditator in the monastery laying down, not sitting on the cushion, maybe his back hurt or something, I don't know what was with him, but something will be more important for you than other things. Like, I'm not as sensitive to noise as Bill, for example, I need to be really not stressed out, like the issues, like very difficult for me to meditate if emotionally I am involved in something. And it brings us to the next point, the last one out of the 6. Nam tok pan, get rid of sense desires or desire for worldly pleasures.
We talked quite a bit about this type of idea
Yeah.
throughout all of this, right? If you're
taste, sight, sound, try to keep your, how to say,
it's not that
mind inside.
It's not that you can't have a pleasant house. It's not that you can't go out to the movies. It's not that you can't go out to dinner. It's more a matter of how much of it in your life is it taking up? Are you living a life primarily devoted to the senses, or are you living a life where your meditation is primary? And then is the rest of your life supporting, you know, the ability to meditate? And again, this isn't to take something away from you. This isn't because you're supposed to sit there, you know, in a cave doing nothing because, you know, I'm saving the world and, you know, and I don't like my life. It's not like that. The idea is that, you know, you learn to meditate, you reach shamatha, and then you put a permanent into your problems after you've had the direct perception of emptiness. And, you know, we'll talk more about that, but like you're trying to see what's really happening in your world. And then with that, you're trying to be really effective at making yourself happier, right? So this isn't about denying yourself pleasures. This is about reaching a higher pleasure, about reaching a higher happiness than just, you know, like the people in the party. And, you know, I mean, frankly, anyway, kind of self-critiquing, right? If you've been young and going out to parties like that.
Yeah. Because meditation is an internal process, right? I mean, this is why when you listen to music and somebody blah, blah, blah to you, it's not a meditation. It's a very common misunderstanding, by the way. People are researching for music for meditation.
Yeah, which is hilarious, which I don't.
This is exactly what you do not want to have, because you will not be meditating with music.
Yeah, it's like, well, do you have lead weights for swimming or something? You know, I mean, it's like the exact opposite of what you need in music for meditation. It's not going to work.
So meditation is an internal process, and with the time you will be able to cut out your senses.
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah. Yeah, anyway.
You will be able to withdraw from your senses, and then your meditation will get much more profound. And by withdrawing from your senses, meaning remember the Stingensin stuff. Like, for example, I remember I was a little girl and I would be so much in my game or in my book, and my mom would call me and I literally didn't hear it. Not because she didn't call, but I was so focused on my stuff that I literally didn't hear the sound. So when you will be really meditating, somebody will put I don't know, McDonald's burger or free French fries, McDonald's French fries in front of your nose, and you will not be able to feel the smell, to smell it. So because meditation is going inward of your mind, this is why we have this get rid of sense desires.
And it's not that meditators don't listen to music. They do. It's just that when you're listening to music, that's all you're doing. You're just focused on it, and you actually enjoy music more because you can hear the notes. You can hear what the musician, the artist wanted. You become more creative yourself because your mind's focused on it. It's not like here in America, you can walk into a gas station, and this happened to me early on in retreat, early on after retreat. And I walked into a gas station, and there's music playing because you're there, you're going to pay for your gas, and there's music playing. Okay, well, I don't really need music while I'm paying for my gas. But then it's not just that. There's like, again, hundreds of things lining the shelves because they want you to buy potato chips and candy and beer and soda. But then there were 3 televisions, each one on a different channel. And so that's like, oh my gosh, and they're just trying to shut thoughts out of people's minds. They're suffering, and they're trying to fill their head with something other than their thoughts. But it's actually really, when you can focus, it's really unpleasant, right? It's like, it's very nice to be able to focus on one thing. It's very nice to listen to a 50-minute symphony and hear every note and enjoy the entire process. It's really unpleasant to walk in and have 100 things fracturing your attention, none of which are that pleasant, right? And so when we say, avoid sense objects, that's what we're talking about. Don't do that to your mind, or protect your mind from that as much as what you can.
Yeah. And one last thing is, don't worry, don't waste your time worrying about things that will never come anyway, most of the times, because this will ruin your meditation and will make you depressed. You don't have time to be worried about other people, other stuff, like you know where you're going, and don't waste your time. And also don't waste your time on your mental afflictions. This is like, people, they ask me how I did what I have done by today. I mean, 27 years old, I was an MD PhD, and then I was painting, doing psychotherapy work, and etc. But I actually have little anger issues. This is why, and would always know. And I'm not a great example. Geshe Michael is a great example. Like what he has done with his life, I think probably 100 people could share, and it would be too much for every single one of them.
Yeah. All right, we're about 2 minutes over.
Yeah.
Let's cover that the next class. It's late for the people. I want to respect their time.
Okay.
I don't want to go over.
We have 3 more questions that are very easy. I mean, they're just about our lineage, and then we will do in half an hour, we will do the next class. And also we will answer Yulia Cherkashina's question about food and meditation. So stay tuned.
All right.
See you in a bit.